Hi, and welcome to the Smart String Teacher YouTube channel, the channel that's going to help you achieve more in less time. Are you intimidated by making a virtual orchestra video? In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a fancy virtual orchestra video that's both easy for your students to record and easy for you to edit. And you're going to do it in 3 simple steps. So you might have been crazy like me and tried the monumental task of piecing together individual videos into a virtual orchestra video and burned yourself out like I did. Or you may have encountered some free apps out there like Easy Virtual Choir that will make a virtual orchestra video for you instantly. But those apps have their limitations. The 3 main limitations are that number 1, the students have to record their videos perfectly from beginning to end, which can make it really frustrating for less advanced string players. And for longer pieces, it can result in parts of the video that don't look that coordinated. The second limitation is that you have very little control over the audio. So if a student plays a wrong note here and there, then there's nothing you can do about it. And the third limitation is that you get one long, boring video of all the students playing from the beginning to the end. Now, wouldn't it be nicer if you could be more creative? And guess what? You can. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use 3 apps. I'm going to use Soundtrap, Easy Virtual Choir, and iMovie, but you can use any similar apps that you're already familiar with. And I'm going to use them to show you how to make a fancier video, and at the same time, you're going to make it easier for your students to record and for you to edit it. And because I want to keep this video as short as I can, I won't waste your time going into step-by-step details about how to use these apps, because you can easily find that information, but I will link to any videos that I think will be helpful in the description. Ready to get started? Okay, the first really important thing to do is to record your audio separately. And it might sound like an extra step, but it actually makes things a lot easier. Why? Because number 1, it allows students to record in shorter segments if they need to. As you can see, some of the students were able to record from beginning to end with no problem. Others had to chop it up. Others had to really record in very short segments, and that's okay. Okay, so if you record the audio separately, they have that ability. And of course, you have the ability to do as much editing as you need to get them to sound decent. And if you want me to make a video on my Soundtrap editing tips, please let me know in the comments, okay? And I'll make another video on that. Now, as you can see, I have all the cellos and I also included the basses here in this file. So what I do is, so that I'm not dealing with a bunch of individual student files, I have them all record in sectionals. So all the first violins are recording in one file, second violins in another file, violas in another file, and the cellos and basses I combined this time. And that makes it easier for you, so you're only dealing with 4 or 5 audio files instead of a whole class full of files, okay? So do that, and then you can edit each individual sectional first and export them, and then combine them all into a single file afterwards. Also, when you do this in sectionals, you can get the students to work together and help each other, and you can get one of the stronger students to lay down the first track as a guide for the rest of the students. Of course, it's also important that you decide on your metronome setting and make sure you use that metronome setting for the video part of this project. And that's pretty much all you have to do for the audio. So step number 2 is to segment your piece into different scenes before you start recording. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's have a look here at Airplane, which is a piece that my beginners recorded last month. And it's a great 2-page piece, really easy, sounds really great, by Michael Hopkins, if you're interested in that. Now, in this piece, the cellos and basses, they start off with about 8 bars or something. And so I made a scene of the cellos and basses playing the first 8 bars. Then the violas come in for 4 to 8 bars, and then the seconds, and then the first. So I've divided those all into different scenes. And then had a scene of everyone playing at once for a little while, and then again, depending on how the music went, I again featured the different sections. So why are you going to do this? Well, for two reasons. Number one, it's going to make your video more interesting. And number two, is going to make it so much easier for your students to record a decent video. Now, remember, we've already got the audio. They don't even have to worry about what they sound like. All they have to worry about is what they look like. And it's much easier for them to do multiple takes of, a short segment of the piece than it is for them to try to record from beginning to end without making any mistakes. So as you can see here, I've divided up Airplane into different segments and labeled it with the sections that are supposed to record these segments. And one tip is you want to add at least a few notes or a bar after the segment so that you have some room for editing. Okay, so don't just start and stop on the beginning and end notes that you want. Add a little extra at the end so that you have some room when you're going to combine the videos. Now, I just want to show you what it looks like for the student when they're recording. You get to record a sample track for them. So here's a quick tip for you. It's just play them all on the instrument that you play. It doesn't really matter. So this is a sample track for the cellos and basses to follow. And I'm just playing their notes, but on the violin. And they have to match the bowing and everything with me, and it really doesn't matter what instrument you're playing. So just keep it easy and quick, play it all on one instrument. They're just following you for rhythm and bow direction and stuff like that. So another tip is make sure you're playing a metronome and give them 2 bars so that when they hit start recording, they have enough time to get set up before they start playing. So here's what this track looks like, and again, this is for basses and cellos. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I didn't play along with myself, but that's what your students would be doing. And then when they're happy with it, they can click add to song. If they're not happy with it, they can discard and try again. And as I mentioned before, I'm modeling the bow directions, I'm modeling the bow lifts, and also the amount of bow I want them to use. So make sure your students are paying attention to that if you want a really well-coordinated video. So here's just a quick look at what their assignment looked like. I just got them to dress all in black so they look really fancy, and to make sure their background is presentable, and make sure they're positioned properly on the screen. Now, if you haven't seen my videos on how to get your students to position themselves properly on the screen, I'll link to that in the description below, okay? I've also told them to make sure they're both going in the right direction and moving at the same time as me for lifts and the ends of notes. And then I've listed the links to what the cellos and basses have to record, the violas have to record, what the violins have to record, and what everybody has to record. So all the sections where they're all playing together. Okay? And you might also want to make a big day of it. It took only 1 class for the kids to record Airplane, so it doesn't take that long for most of the students. So we set aside that day as recording day, and they found it a lot of fun. So finally, after you have exported all your little mini videos from Easy Virtual Choir or whatever app you're using, now you've got to piece it together, and it is so simple after this, right? You've done the mixing of your audio, the kids have done the video, and now all you have to do is take your audio track, put it on your project there, and then start matching up your videos to it. So the first video I think here is here, and I'm going to put it in there. Now I'm going to just like go across my video and find out where the kids start playing the first note. Oh, it's about there. So I'm just going to shorten that track to about there. Let me just expand this so you can see that better. So yeah, so they start bowing right about here. Okay, so about where this hill is. So I'm just gonna move this to that hill there. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm gonna find the end where they stop playing and freeze. Oh, yeah, it's just so it should be about there. So, and I'm gonna shorten it to there. And then I can play it back and fine tune it. Okay, and then I just keep adding tracks until everything's in there. And if you want, you can add transitions and stuff, but if you've already done some video editing, you know about that. So one last step that you want to wait till the end to do is, and that is to remove the audio track from the videos. So you can see here there's an audio track to this video. I like to leave it there until the end because I like using it to help me line it up with the main audio track on the bottom there. So that can be helpful. So leave it on, and then when you're ready to remove it in iMovie, you can just pull it down to 0, and then you won't have any sound on the video track. Or you can find the option where you can separate the audio from the video and delete the audio there. So that's my quick and easy way to make a fancy virtual video, and also at the same time make things easier for yourself and your students. I hope that was helpful to you. And again, if there's anything that you want me to go over and maybe make another video about, just let me know in the comments below and I'll do my very best to do that for you. So I hope these tips helps you achieve more in less time and helps you put together a really nice concert at the end of the year for your students and parents. It makes such a big difference to everyone when they can see themselves performing, when you can show the parents what you've been doing all year, despite what's been happening. So I hope I've put a little bit of ease into your life, despite all the craziness that I know we've all been going through. Make sure you let me know how this helped you in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you share this with your colleagues so that they can put together their own easy virtual concerts as well. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next video.